Shalom, shalom, shalom. This be y'all brother Elder Radazan from the Disciples of the Mountains of Israel. How y'all doing this morning, people? Start maybe I get at y'all, man, with a little brief lesson, on what to do and what not to do. And what we supposed to do is keep them laws, commandments, and statutes. And what we not supposed to do is break them. So without further ado, man, I'm gonna say Ka Halal Yahweh Bashim Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. And it is all that saying is that we give all glory and praise to the Father. And we do so in the name of the beloved Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. So without further ado, man, let's go and get into this here, man, because I think it's very necessary, man, that this here be brought out. Hope it can touch some of you people, and show y'all that, some things we just not supposed to do, so without further ado, let's get with it, man. I know everybody gonna be out there tomorrow with them barbecue pits fired up. You know what I'm saying? You know, cooking that abomination, that swine and everything else, that the Most High done told us not to do. You understand? And see, we have to realize that this so-called 4th of July thing, it was never for us, and it still ain't for us. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the whole shebang, the voting and all that. It is not for us. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to vote for someone, it has to be our own kind to be placed over us, to rule us. And I'm going to show y'all that. But, right now I kind of want to focus on this pagan man-made tradition, man. That, really is a slap in so-called black people's face, man, because in 1776, man, we were still in captivity, Not only that, man, some of the very people that wrote these declarations of independence and these constitutions and all this stuff here, man, they had a lot of our forefathers and foremothers slaves. They had them enslaved on their big old plantations, man. You know what I'm saying? These same very people talking about freedom and justice for all had our forefathers and foremothers on these plantations as slaves and servants and handmaids and concubines and sex objects and everything else you can possibly name under the category of wickedness under the sun. So, man, I want to share an article with y'all. For y'all who don't know, tune in. For y'all who do know, I will ask that you still stay tuned in, man. And, see, I'm the type of person, man, I'm open for corrections, right? Because I come to learn a long time ago, when you're not open to be corrected, you're not going to grow. So, those of y'all that know, what I'm saying, stay tuned in, man. And it's some, that, you can kind of show is not right. Put it in the comment boards, man. I'm humble enough to accept that correction, man, because my mission is to do the work of the Lord. And the Lord tell me to go out and find as many as I can. You know what I'm saying? And bid them to the max. The max of what? The covenant that the Most High have with his people, the Israelites. You, so-called black man, so-called Mexican man, so-called Native American man, indigenous descent. You are the Israelite on this side of the planet. And, hopefully, after this, you will at least stop celebrating this 4th of July thing. Even though I don't, well, my household, we serve the Lord and we don't celebrate no holidays, no birthdays, none of that. You know what I'm saying? So, but man, I will say this. I'd rather see my people celebrate the Juneteenth thing than the 1776 thing, which me personally, I strongly advise you don't even celebrate that. But that's another slap in the face. So I'm gonna celebrate the fact that this fool let me go 10 years later. When he's supposed to let me go 10 years, before that. No, man. Then that's not a day worthy of being celebrated. But you know, us as being who we are, man, as the Israelites, God's chosen people, you know what I'm saying, the salt of the earth. You know what I'm saying? You know, we have this natural, you know, God given ability to take the worst thing and make it the best thing to where everybody wanted or to take part in. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's pull this article up, man. We're gonna do a little screen sharing today. I think I'm getting better, y'all, with the screen sharing thing. I don't know, but we finna try. We finna see right here, man. So, as y'all can see, you know, we got this Independence Day United States article about the fourth of Jewish lies. let me shrink my camera back down. See, told y'all, man, I ain't good at this, man. See what happened? Let me see here. There we go. All right, let's get on the article. All right, it says Independence Day, United States. It says 4th of July and 4th of July redirect here. For the calendar date, see July 4th. For other users, see 4th of July. Anyway, let's get to it. It says Independence Day, known colloquially as the 4th of July, as a federal holiday in the United States, commemorating the Declaration of Independence. As y'all see, that's the Declaration of Independence, formally titled the Unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America. Did y'all know that? Anyway, it goes on. It says, in the founding document, the United States, right? Salakia, y'all. Sorry about that. They say it was adopted unanimously by the 56 delegates to the Second Continental, right? So, as we can see, these same people that we're going to see, just follow me. Say, which was ratified by the Second Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776, establishing the United States of America. All right. So the founding father delegates of the Second Continental Congress declared that the 13 colonies were no longer subject and subordinate to the monarch of Britain, King George III, and were now united, free and independent states. The Congress voted to approve Independence Salakia, by passing the Lee Resolution. Let's see what this is. I think it was the name of this document before it became what we know as the Declaration of Independence. Say the Lee Resolution, also known as the Resolution for Independence, was the formal assertion passed by the Second Continental Congress on July 2nd, 1776, resolving that the 13 colonies were free and independent states and separate from the British Empire. Okay, so we know what the Lee Resolution was, right? And adopted the Declaration of Independence 2 days later on July 4th. Say Independence Day is commonly associated with fireworks, parades, barbecues, carnivals, fairs, picnics, concerts, baseball games, family reunions, political speeches, and ceremonies, in addition to various other political and private events celebrating the history, government, and traditions of the United States. Independence Day is the national day of the United States. Okay, see, this is where the deception come in at. You know, this fireworks parade, wah wah wah. This is where the deception come in at. This where they make you think that this all about you now. This is about everybody, the whole United States. But that's so far from being the truth. Because when we go into these initial documents, you know, the Constitution, for example, how it labels us as 3/5 of a human being. Haven't any of those laws been repealed? In other words, done away with? They still active on the books right now as I speak. So, you know, we can't fall for the deception which is to make us think that we included in everything. That when all this stuff here was done, you know, put in effect, you know, that it applied to us too. Now, man, we still had yokes of iron on our neck, you know. Let's read on. Let's get the background of this thing. All right, it say during the American Revolution, the legal separation of the 13 colonies from Great Britain in the 1776 actually occurred on July 2nd, when the Second Continental Congress voted to approve a resolution of independence that had been proposed in June by Richard Henry Lee. That's the Lee resolution, right? It say of Virginia declaring the United States independence from the Great Britain's rule. After voting for independence, Congress turned its attention to the Declaration of Independence, a statement explaining this decision, which had been prepared by the Committee of Five, which asked Thomas Jefferson to author its first draft. Now, it's well proven, well documented history that this this fleshmonger by the name of Thomas Jefferson, who was one of y'all presidents, had a plethora of our forefathers and foremothers as slaves. Mostly a lot of women because he was a pervert. You know, he made a lot of kids, you know, with you know, a lot of our foremothers that was held on his plantation. So y'all want to check that out. Just type in Thomas Jefferson, you know what I'm saying, slave plantation, or Thomas Jefferson slave wives or kids or whatever, and it's gonna come up. The history gonna come up. Anyway, let's go on. All right. It's a while Jefferson consulted extensively with the other four members of the Committee of Five, he largely wrote the Declaration of Independence in isolation over 17 days between June 11, 1776 and June 28, 1776. From the second floor, he was renting in a three-story private home at 700 Market Street in Philadelphia, now known as the Declaration House, and within walking distance of Independence Hall. Congress debated and revised the wording of the Declaration, removing Jefferson's vigorous denunciation of King George III for importing the slave trade, finally approving it 2 days later on July 4th, a day earlier. John Adams wrote to his wife Abigail. Now look at this. Now you see how they try to make this fleshmonger, Thomas Jefferson, ought to be, you know, some type of, you know, humanitarian, it just lies. It's lies. American history is lies, man. You know, and everything that comes after that or that comes from those lies, you know what I'm saying, should be renounced. You know what I'm saying? The holidays, the everything. I'm talking to my people, the so-called Black, Latino, Native American of indigenous descent. I'm talking to y'all. You know, we should renounce everything that stems from this particular year moving forward. In other words, we got to renounce America. We got to establish our own nation. You know what I'm saying? Because we nations within nations. You know. Let's read on. This man was a fleshmonger. They say this the letter that this clown John Adams wrote to his wife. They say the second day of July 1776 will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America. Say, I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be commemorated as the day of deliverance by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. Man, ooh, boy, man, say, you know, I kind of hate I started this now because I want to close this down, just close it down and forget it. But anyway, let's read on, man. I'm not biased like that. But anyway, say, it ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward, forevermore. See, these people here, man, you know, you got to kind of give it to them, even though we know the Most High, he raised up the kings of this earth only to destroy their ass, to let them know who he is, right? But you know, you really gotta, you know, look at this and be like, God dang. Now here it is, this boy in 1776 wrote this letter to his wife about what he feel like this nation should be doing on this day, right? And believe it or not, this what has been promoted and pushed because these same things, for such as the parades and the glitter and the glamour and the fireworks and all that stuff there, this what people do on this day, right? And not only that, it speaks to the fact, man, that these people were really visionaries. They knew how they wanted their people, their race to be, and that's the dominant race in the planet. Of course, we know that the Most High, he raises up kings of the strong. He give other nations the benefit of the doubt, man, and just to see how they gonna act. If they gonna speak against him and his people, or they gonna do their own thing, stay out the way, and recognize the fact that he's the creator. No, these people didn't do that. They didn't care about that. They lied. They used his name in vain and all this here, right? But then again, we know their God is Satan, and we know Satan is the God of this world, right? Let's move right along. Adam's prediction was off by 2 days on the outset. From the outset, Americans celebrated Independence on July 4th. The date shown on the much publicized Declaration of Independence rather than on July 2nd. So y'all can see that the original date was July 2nd. Say the date the resolution of independence was approved in a closed session of Congress. And they still do this stuff today. They get up in these dark rooms, these big oak tables, man. They sit up around these tables and they plot and plan how they gonna manipulate and dictate the ongoings of society, which translates in your life, how they gonna dictate how your life gonna be. And also, y'all might want to pay attention to this Project 25 thing. We finna go right back to these days right here if we don't watch it. You know what I'm saying? The Most High willing, I'll probably present something on that, right? Anyway, say historians have long disputed whether members of Congress signed the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, even though Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Benjamin Lyons, Still, and Franklin all later wrote that they had signed it on that day. Most historians have concluded that the Declaration was signed nearly a month after its adoption on August the 2nd, 1776. They said not only on July 4th, as is commonly believed. They say by a remarkable coincidence, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, the only two signatories of the Declaration of Independence, later to serve as presidents of the United States, both died on the same day, July 4th, 1826. Good riddance, man. Which was the 50th anniversary of the Declaration. Although not a signatory of the Declaration of Independence, James Monroe, another founding father who was elected president and died on July 4th, 1831. Y'all don't see what the Most High doing? Okay, y'all wanna love this day so much. This day so important to y'all and all this. And you know what? This is my opinion right here. Just looking back on it. Well, not looking back, I wasn't there, but just looking back on the history. You know, it's safe to say, man, that you know the Most High took them out on something that they revered, something that that they use to actually rock the people to sleep, especially our people, just for the sake of controlling them. You know what I'm saying? Through these holidays, what we say, and so on and so forth. And then not only that, everything is commercialized. In other words, they're gonna make money off of it too. Right? But these fools dying on the July 4th, this is rather ironic. I'm not gonna say coincidence because I don't believe in coincidence, but it's rather funny that you know this day meant so much to them. They wrote letters to their wives, visualized how it was gonna be in the future and all that, only for the Most High to take their ass on the day that that they, hold so sacred and dear. I digress, y'all. Anyway, we gonna stop sharing tomorrow. Probably get a Bible script or two. But first, I still got some more I want to show y'all. I want to share with y'all. So, black people, as we can see, you know, and I'm gonna prove it to y'all that on this day, man, we were still in the chains. And I don't want to hear that stuff about, man, dang, chain ain't like that no more. Man, that's bull. That's bull. And they have shown us this throughout history, man. See, I know y'all probably heard the old saying, the shackles ain't on our wrists and our ankles no more, but on our minds. That's true. Not only that, our spirit has been straight up broken. We have, and a lot of us has willingly give our soul and spirit to the devil, following, what I'm saying, these other nations and their cultures and stuff like that, trying to make them our own because we've been taught to hate everything us. Anyway, let's pull this. Let's share some. Let's do some more sharing. I got another article, another write up. I want to check. Let y'all check out. And this is hopefully sharing. Okay, slavery in the United States. It says the legal institution of human chattel slavery, comprising the enslavement primarily of Africans and African Americans, was prevalent in the United States of America from its founding in 1776. Here we go, y'all, until 1865. Hold on, well, I thought I got my independence with everybody else in 1776. Told y'all. Come on, let's go. We just getting in. Predominantly in the South. Slavery was established throughout European colonization in the Americas. From 1526 during the early colonial period, it was practiced in what became Britain's colonies. Y'all ever heard the term the sun never set on Great Britain? Well, what that meant was that they had conquered basically the whole world, man. And for y'all who don't know what the colonial period is, this is what it is right here. Slavery in the colonial history of the United States refers to the institution of slavery that existed in the European colonies in North America, would eventually become or became part of the United States of America. Slavery developed due to a combination of factors, primarily the labor demands. Man. In other words, colonialism was the spread of it was three things, y'all. The spread of this false doctrine we know as Christianity and Catholicism. The taking of land and the subjugating and selling of people. Do your research. But it was more so about conquering, taking land, and establishing their doctrine. All right. From 1526, during the early colonial period, it was practiced in what became Britain's colonies, including the 13 colonies that formed the United States. Under the law, an enslaved person was treated as property that could be bought, sold, and given away. Slavery lasted in about half of United States until abolition in 1865. All right. And issues concerning slavery seep into every aspect of national politics, economics, and social customs. In the decades after the end of the Reconstruction in 1877, many of slavery's economic and social functions were continued through segregation, sharecropping, and convict leasing. In other words, what they did, like I said, they took the shackles off our hands and our ankles, put them on our minds, our hearts, our wallets, and our purses. Let me read this again. And I say purse, I mean the women, right? Say in the decades after the end of Reconstruction, of course, Reconstruction was the era after the Civil War. Say was a period in the United States history following the American Civil War, dominated by the legal, social, and political challenges of abolishing slavery and reintegrating the 11 former Confederate States of America into the United States. In other words, America was split. You had two presidents at one time, right? You had the South and you had the North, right? Anyway, it say many of slavery economic and social functions were continued through segregation, sharecropping, and convict leasing, right? You know, where private prison what became public prison, then now they done brought the private prison back, and you know, the private sector make all the money. And just like the private sector, they establish the law, write the laws and stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? So of course they're gonna write laws that's gonna entrap our people to get them sent to what? The private prison to do what? To make them money. Slavery all over again, partner, just rewrapped in a whole nother gift wrap. Let's read. It say by the time of the American Revolutionary War, which is 1775 to 1783, the status of enslaved people had been institutionalized as a racial case. All right, let's see what case is for those who don't know. All right, a case is a fixed social group into which an individual is born within a particular system of social stratification. A case system within such a system, individuals are expected to marry exclusively within the same case in endogamy. That's what it's that's endogamy or endogamy. To say follow lifestyles often linked. Sorry, y'all. Love that case. Salakia. They say individuals are expected to marry exclusively within the same case or caste. It's a fellow lifestyles often linked to a particular occupation. All right, I'm not going to read the whole thing, it's more on, but all the cases with a certain status that certain people are given in society that already have a higher order of caste system. So do a little research on that, Most High Will, and I'll probably do a little lesson on that for those of y'all who are not really familiar. All right. Let's say it's associated with African ancestry. During and immediately following the revolution, abolitionist laws were passed in most northern states and a movement developed to abolish slavery. The role of slavery under the United States Constitution was the most contentious issue during its drafting. Although the creator of the Constitution never used the word slavery to find a document through the 3/5 clause, what I was telling y'all about earlier. Let's see what this thing is. 3/5 clause. 3/5 The 3/5 compromise was an agreement reached during the 1787 United States Constitutional Convention over the inclusion of slaves in a state's total population. This count will determine the number of seats in the House of Representatives, the number of electoral votes each state will be allocated, and how much money the states will pay in taxes. Slaveholding states wanted their entire population to be counted to determine the number of representatives those states could elect and send to Congress. Man, can't y'all see everything about this society was built off of us? God damn. Anyway, I digress. Y'all excuse me. I'm kind of getting emotional about this. Anyway, say slaveholding states wanted their entire population to determine the number of representatives those states could elect and send to Congress. Free states wanted to exclude the counting of slave population in slave states, since those slaves had no voting rights. A compromise was struck to resolve the impasse. Right now, you play chess and your pawn, my pawn is down to your second rank. You know what I'm saying? In the spot where your pawn can take his first spot, and then you try to push it up 2 pawns. That's called impasse. You can't pass my pawn like that. You got to either, take it, what I'm saying, or move something else. I just had to give it to y'all in chess just in case. I know where you can't go past that pawn without going through the proper, procedure or whatever to take it. You see what I'm saying? All right, let's go. It's over the inclusion of slaves in the state's total population. Salaki, I'm further down than that. Let me go ahead and get this under because I'm kind of losing a little steam. Say the compromise counted 3/5 of each state slave population toward the state's total population for the purpose of apportioning the House of Representatives, effectively giving the southern states more power in the House relative to the northern states. It also gave slaveholders similarly enlarged powers in southern legislatures, right? Let's say this was an issue in the cession of West Virginia from Virginia in 1863, right? And then it goes on to say free blacks and indentured servants were not subject to the compromise. Each was counted as one full person by representative. This is what they say. All right. It say, and that's you can find that in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3. Section 2 of the 14th Amendment, 1868, later superseded, where it was passed, those clauses and explicitly repealed the compromise. This is what they say, but it's not, it's still there. You know what I'm saying? But if it's been repealed, then they need to start treating us like, you know what I'm saying, 100. But now, really, let us go, give us our land back and our reparations and everything else, man, and stay far away from us and get their place as servants, like the Bible said, right? Give us our wealth back. So as you can see, you know, I'm giving y'all some understanding of the 3/5 of a human being thing. You know, they trying to say that it has something to do with just allowing 3/5 of the slave population to be counted as the regular population, right? That don't even make sense. That don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense when you look at it from that perspective. You know, from the perspective of an enslaver, a colonialist, a colonizer. You know, but in real life reality, that don't make sense. Either we're gonna be citizens or we're gonna be slaves. It just that ain't no in between that, right? But you know, my reason for presenting all this to y'all to show y'all how we shouldn't be celebrating this shit, right? Okay, let's get back to it. We was reading about the American Revolutionary War, and we just did a 3/5 clause. Gave slave owners disproportionate political power by augmenting the congressional representation of the electoral college votes of slaveholding states. The fugitive slave clause of the Constitution was Article 4, Section 2, Clause 3, provided that if a slave escaped to another state, the other state had to return the slave to his or her master. You know, it made me think about prison. You know, a lot of those prisons, they all right up around each other, right? And you know, if you don't know where you're going, you can run out one plantation and run to the other one. Guess what the other one gonna do? Turn your ass in. And not gonna say, all right, you come on, you work for my plantation. You ain't gotta worry about all that. No, they finna take me back over there, and then someone will take you and put you on their plantation. You know what I'm saying? Unclaimed property. Because we was considered as property. But anyway, I digress. Let's go. All right. It say, provided that if a slave escaped to another state, the other state had to return the slave to his or her master. This clause was implemented by the Fugitive Slave Act of 1793, passed by Congress. Right now, remember, it's 1793, 1776. We supposed to all been free, but it wasn't for us, black people. It wasn't for us. Quit barbecuing and spending all your money and celebrate. You know what I'm saying? I can't even find the word, but man, you should be ashamed of yourself, man. Y'all know I did it. I come from a family that did it. But when I came into the truth, into the knowledge, even before the truth, I knew that this wasn't for us, right? Because remember, I was a Muslim 17 years, and you know, into the Black Pan Africanism thing and all that. So you know, I didn't know that this day of celebration wasn't for us, you know. And a lot of us that know this are still, you know, crank up our pits and cook our food and because you know we done been given an off day off the plantation, and you know, so we more so celebrating our off day, our independence from the plantation that day, because don't none of the trimmings and the wrappings of this entire day include us, man. It seems like that now, but it's not about us. It's about us spending our money, man, making this day and the people thereof more and more rich. Because it's been commercialized now. You can go buy hats, a scarf, whatever you want with American flag on, or 4th of July. Let's go. All right, we're almost done. They say, passed by Congress. All northern states had abolished slavery in some way by 1805. Sometimes with completion at a future date. Sometimes with an intermediary status of unpaid indentured servant. Abolition was, in many cases, a gradual process. A few hundred people were enslaved in the northern states as late as the 1840 census. Some slave owners, primarily in the Upper South, freed their slaves, and philanthropists and charitable groups bought and freed others. The Atlantic slave trade was outlawed by individual states beginning during the American Revolution. The import trade was banned by Congress in 1808. The earliest date the Constitution permitted Article 1, Section 9, although smuggling was common thereafter. It has been estimated that before 1820, a majority of serving congressmen owned slaves. Right? They say, and that about 30% of congressmen who were born before 1840, some of whom served into the 20th century, at some time in their lives were owners of slaves. Come on, black people, y'all let this stuff go. Let this stuff go. For real, man. I'd rather see y'all celebrate Juneteenth than this here. Let's stop sharing. Y'all let that go, man. That's not for us. Never have been and never will be. You know what I'm saying? That just, like I said, they took the shackles off our mind, off our ankles and our wrists, put them on our minds, our hearts, our spirit, our wallets, and our purses. That's it, man. It's still the same. We still in our captivity. You know what I'm saying? So let's go get some scripts, man. Let's go get some scripts. Let's go to the Bible. Let's go to the Bible. I'm gonna share the Bible with y'all, man. We're gonna go to the Life Bible. Here we go. And remember, I was telling y'all, now our people is voting for these people to rule over us. And I'm finna give y'all a scripture where the Most High tell us not to allow to pick any other nation to rule over us, right? And this is how you know we're still in our captivity, because we can't pick our king. We can pick someone from our nation and send up in there, like Malcolm said, first train him up how we, what we want, what we need, and all that stuff there for as being a nation, right? And then send them up in there. But then when we do that, guess what happens? They get pressured. You know what I'm saying? Family get threatened. Family members get killed. And all this stuff here. And folks make them abandon all that free my people stuff. That's why a lot of these so-called black politicians, they think just like these people, man. They don't think for our best interest. They don't think to solve our problems. And then the ones that seem like they do, these people let them, do a certain thing, say a certain thing. Man, y'all research the 501c3 thing. It's not just for churches and shit like that. Check it out, man. But anyway, we in Deuteronomy 17, man. And we're going to start at verse 15. It says, go ahead. Now, this is the CV, bro. I'm going to get the KJV too. It say, go ahead and appoint a king, right? But make sure that he is an Israelite and that he is the one the Lord has chosen. Now let's go get it in the KJV. Say, thou shalt in any wise set him over thee. Talking about the heathen, right? Say, whom the Lord thy God shall choose, right? Who amongst us. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother, nor is not an Israelite. There's some precepts up in here. Let's go see what the Lord say about picking someone, right? First Samuel, we got several on here. Whoa, we got a whole plethora of them. Cross-reference for whom? In other words, the Lord pick who we gonna put over us. In 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 15, it says, now the Lord had told Samuel, in his ear a day before Saul came, saying, let's go get the whole thing. Tomorrow about this time I will send thee a man out of the land of Benjamin, and thou shalt anoint him to be captain. Prince or ruler, that's what a captain is from the Bible's perspective, over my people Israel, that he may save my people out of the hand of the Philistines. For I have looked upon my people, because their cries come unto me. Notice I ain't playing. He see it. Exodus chapter 2, verse 23. And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of bondage. Let's stop sharing. Let's go back. Back to Deuteronomy 17. So as you can see, our suffering, our pain, our sorrow, our killing in the, us being killed in the street, and just, our blood just being spilled, even by the hands of our own people, you know what I'm saying, is crying up to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And he hear it and he see it. And he's getting ready to return, man, to judge those who are not living righteously. But see, like I always say, man, he's gonna start with us first. So we out here celebrating these holidays. We out here, taking on other cultures that's not ours, man. Say we doomed if we don't stop. We're gonna go get some more script. Let's go to Colossians 2:8. Because we have taken on all these, philosophies and traditions of men, that are not ours. You know what I'm saying? And even the traditions of our men we shouldn't follow. We should follow what the Lord say, right? And it's Colossians chapter 2:8. Say, beware lest any man spoil you. That word spoil means plunder you or take you captive, right? It say through philosophy and vain deceit. Let's see what vain means. Empty, nothing. After, let's see what after mean. Of course, according to, right? Say the tradition of men after the rudiments of the world and not after Christ. Okay, got some precepts in. Let's go see what they say. Galatians 1:14. And profit in the Jews' religion above many equals in mine own nation, being more exceedingly zealous of the traditions of my fathers. See, we can't even, those traditions of our fathers should be the laws, commandments, and statutes. Before what they did on their own and all that stuff there, we shouldn't follow that, because it's going to bring us in direct opposition to our Father in heaven. All right. Let's see what the rudiments of this world is, right? Oh, number Galatians, right? Okay, Galatians 4:3. Even so, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world. Galatians 4:9. But now, after that, ye have known God, right? Or rather, are known of God. How turn ye again to the weak and beggarly elements? In other words, how could you turn back to the rudiments of the world, right? It say, whereunto ye desire again to be in bondage, because we know Christ tells us that we got to renounce this world in so many words. We can't be of this world. Yeah, we in this world, we not of the world. We trying to get to our world, our kingdom, so on and so forth. Well, we can choose a king from amongst us and put over us, which he has already been chosen. And that's who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. That's who our king gonna be, which is a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Let's read on. All right, Galatians 4:10. Ye observe days and months and times and years. Let's go get the whole script. Ye observe days and months and times and years. I am afraid of you, lest I have bestowed upon you labor in vain. Brethren, I beseech you, be as I am, for I am as ye are. Ye have not injured me at all. So, as we can see, this Colossians 2:8 is basically telling us, the days of these heathens, what I'm saying, the times and all that, man, we should not celebrate, right? We should not make our own, because when we do that, then we have taken on the ways of the nation. We have fornicated against our, we have committed adultery against our God. We have went and made something else our God, and our God don't like that. That's why he say when he returns, he gonna come to us first, and I'm gonna go get that for y'all. Let's go to, I think that's Second Peter um, 4:17. Either second or first Peter, y'all. I kind of get them mixed up, but we're gonna get it. Let's see if it's the first Peter 4:17. Yeah, it's First Peter 4:17. Not Second Peter. Salakia. It says, "For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God." And what is the house? Who is the house of God? The Israelites, His people, right? Saying if it first begin with us, He's talking about the people, not His actual house. Say, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? And if righteous, Salakia, where was I at? 18. It say, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, no, they barely gonna make it. It say, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Wow, let's see what it goes on to say. Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of God commit the keeping of their souls to Him in well doing as unto a faithful Creator. And that's why He tell us in Exodus chapter 20, verse 1, no God before me, the very first of the 10 commandments that the Christians don't even keep them. That the Christians don't even keep. You know. So, our blood is crying out to the Father, man, and He heard, and He's getting ready to bring judgment upon these nations, man, especially this nation, from how they have treated His children. And let's go get a couple more. We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna go to the Revelation, man, chapter 18. And we're gonna start at verse 1. So after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was light with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and it's become the habitation of devils. A devil is a deceiver and a demon, right? It say, and the Lord, and the whole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Unclean and hateful bird, right? For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. How did she get her delicacies? Off the backs of the Israelites, right? Off the backs of the Israelites. This is how she got her delicacies. So all these other nations that partook in what she had going on how to get these delicacies, you know what I'm saying, that committed fornication with her, and they got rich off the abundance of her delicacy, they gonna have to go too, partner. Let's read on. Say, and heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plague. Let's see what this precept is. Isaiah 48:20. Say, Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans. With a voice of singing declare ye, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth. Say ye, the Lord had redeemed his servant Jacob. Yes, we was redeemed when our King came and shed his blood for us, man. Let's read on. Say, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her as she rewarded you. In other words, do to her what she done to you, and do it double, right? Unto her double according to her works, in the cup which she had filled to her double. And now let's see if there's some more places where the Most High say this. Let's go to Joel. Let's go to the law, to the testament, to the prophets. Check this out. This is Joel 3. We're going to start at chapter 1. I'm going to breeze y'all through this and we're going to wrap it up. Say, for behold, in those days and in that time, talking about the last days, right? When I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, we're going to round up all these people, you know what I'm saying? Northern kingdom and southern kingdom, and they're going to be one nation again, right? Check out what else he going to do. They say, I will also gather all nations, not one nation, not just America, but all nations, and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which means the valley of decision, and will plead into a judgment. He finna judge him. He finna make war with him. Watch this. It say, with them down for my people and for my heritage Israel, right? Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. The land was parted, man, with the Balfour Declaration. That's when the land got parted. That's when this cat Arthur Balfour wrote some letter to one of them Rothschilds. You know, tell them that they need to part out. You know, make a state for the little hat boys when they bring them over there. And that part of the land between them and the so-called Palestinians, who we know the land don't belong to them either. However, let's read on. It says, and they have cast lots for my people. No, they didn't gamble, they didn't sold, they didn't bid it, and all this for the Most High's people, right? And have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. We know they did all this with the Hamites. And verse 4 talks about the Hamites and their role in it, right? Say, yeah. And what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense, or will y'all gonna pay me back, man? Yeah, man, y'all can't do that. And if y'all do this, what's gonna happen? Me swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your head. You know what I'm saying? No, you got to go through, you got to experience what you took people through, right? And he go and say, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, the white folks, the Europeans, that ye might remove them far from their border. He said, because I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them and return your recompense upon your own head, right? And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians. Let's see who the Sabians was, y'all. Shebaites. Now, the Shebaites, Ethiopians, or was there an outshoot of an Arab people, some Arabs, to a people far off? For the Lord has spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, right? It say, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. In other words, other nations, right? Other nations. Say, and gather yourselves together round about. Thee the call is round about. Thee the cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get ye down, for the press is full, the vats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. And you know, and it's all being prepared right now. It's all being set in motion right now as we speak, man. It's all being set in motion right now. And now we're gonna end this with the class. Let's go back to Revelation, man. You know, Revelation 13 and 9. So if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth in the captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Israel, wait, watch, pray, and most importantly, keep those laws, commandments, and statutes, man. Until then, I'm going to say shalom, shalom, shalom. And I hope y'all got something out of this today, man.